to show you guys what I cook with my groceries, if you wonder. Which, if you've been watching my videos, you see the things that I make. But this is going to be for Sunday dinner after church. This is what I had a taste for, and I thought it would just be good. We've still been having some freezing cold days, so I wanted to do something that was not so time consuming, but a lot of these things are going to go in the oven because, yeah. So right now I'm going to show you guys, on the menu is some roast, beef chuck roast, some candied yams, some cornbread. I wanted to do some cornbread dressing, but I don't know. I don't think I have all the things that I need, so it's no biggie. We'll just have cornbread. Cornbread, fresh turnip greens, mac and cheese, deviled eggs, and yeah, that's it. I think that's pretty good. I'm going to show you all my ingredients. Here I have my sweet potatoes that I diced up. They are boiling. You don't have to boil them. Sometimes I'll just put them in the oven, but it is 6:25 p.m. and I don't have time for that. I want to try to make everything and prep it to let it cool and then put it in the refrigerator. I'm going to let them cook till they just get just a little bit tender because we don't want the overcooked yams at all. Over here my noodles are ready. I put my eggs inside with them. I'm going to remove this off of the stove and I'll show you guys how I make my mac and cheese. Here I have my pot roast. I'm going to do it in my crock pot overnight, set it on low for 12 hours. And then after 12 hours, it'll just cut off. So I don't have to worry about it. In the morning, it'll be ready. And if it's not, I'll just turn it on low. And while we go to church, it'll finish cooking. So I've got some garlic powder on here. I'm going to put some onion powder on here. I got some of this Montreal steak seasoning. I like beefy onion, but you don't have to have it. And I don't have any, so it's fine. The key to a good roast to where it's not watery and all dry in a crock pot is to not fill it with a whole bunch of water. So I'm gonna do this beef bouillon seasoning. And I'm gonna do some black pepper, and that is it. And 2 sticks of butter and a cup of water. Nothing else, no more than that. Cup of water. Got this cup of water. Because you don't want it to be watery. It creates its own condensation and sweat, and you don't want just a flourless roast. 2 sticks of butter or 1 stick of butter, give or take. It's just all up to you. And that is it. So I did add 2 more things. Forgot to tell y'all, add you some herbs. I did a just Italian seasoning that has all the herbs. I did a half of a white onion, 1 stick of butter because I'm going to do gravy. I'm not going to put the gravy on here until in the morning because the gravy, it don't need to go in there. It'll burn, I think, if I'm not outside. Like I sprayed, but it'll burn around the edges. And yeah, so the gravy goes in last. Especially, you'll see how much water that you have, that you can remove some if need be and go from there. So this is going on in for 12 hours. So my turnip greens are the Glory Food. I love this brand. They come pretty clean. I always soak them and clean them additionally, but they are really, really clean already. So they say they're triple washed. So that's a good thing. I go through and I pick out some of the stems, but I'm going to soak these in some vinegar water, and I'm going to actually cook these in my Instapot for 14 minutes. Once I get everything in there, I'll show you the spices that I use, and that is it. It's going fast, going fast, going fast. Okay guys, so now on to our mac and cheese. So this is my go-to mac and cheese recipe. I've been making it for years. It's so simple and easy, and I love to share it with everybody. So you've got 1 cup of whole milk, 1 can of evaporated milk, a half a cup of melted butter, or a half a stick. I'm sorry, because I don't want you to put too much butter in it. You don't need a half a cup, which is 1 stick. So you need a half a stick of melted butter, which will be a 1/4 of a cup. I'm sorry. Let me correct that. 2 large eggs. You're going to whisk that together. Let everything be combined. Now you're going to add chicken bouillon seasoning to taste, about 1 tablespoon to 2. You don't want it salty. You will not need salt because chicken bouillon has salt in it already. Black pepper, garlic powder, paprika. That's it. 6 cups of cheese of your choice. I'm using sharp cheddar, white and orange cheddar or yellow. You're going to do 3 cups inside. Mix that up with your cooked noodles. And then you're going to do 3 on top. Cover, bake 375 for 25 minutes. Give or take your oven. You may need an extra 10 minutes. I'm really not sure. It usually takes about 25 minutes for mine. Then the last 5 to 10 minutes with your foil off, you are going to let the cheese on top get nice and bubbly. It will be melted, but you want it to crisp up. But if you're not into the crispiness on the mac and cheese, definitely you can just serve it as is once it's settled and it cools. Don't do like me, like you'll see at the end of the video. After all that cheese, you're going to be like, where's the top of the cheese? Because you put it on broil and you left it and forgot about it, and then you had to remove it. So don't make that mistake. But it's okay. Everything was still good, still cheesy all the way through. That's why we use 6 cups, because we did not miss that at all. So yeah, and that is it. Okay guys, so on to our next recipe, which are my candied yams. I am using 1 stick of butter. I'm not going to put this in the oven until tomorrow after church. It'll just, all the flavor will just come together, but the potatoes are cooked. I'm doing a dash of nutmeg. You don't need too much. I'm going to do cinnamon, about a half of tablespoon to a tablespoon. I'm doing 1 cup of brown, 1 cup of white sugar, 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract, and cinnamon, orange zest, and a couple of, like a tablespoon of orange juice from the orange. And it does not taste like orange. It just causes all the flavors to come together, and you just have that sweet citrusy taste, and it's delicious. Definitely would try it. You will never go back to just before. It'll be so good. So yeah, on to our next recipe. So it's Sunday morning. Of course, we are back from service, and I'm going to finish up everything. My roast is cooked to perfection. The sad thing about it, which I should have known this, I usually have to do 2 roasts, and it's not enough meat. I'll show you guys that in a second and what I added to it. But right now, we're going to go ahead and get these turnip greens with the roots into my Instapot. I got it set on steam for 14 minutes, and these are my spices. So in this bowl, I've got paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, beef bouillon, and that is it. Oh. Did I say paprika? And that's it. And I may add just a little bit of crushed red pepper, and I'm gonna do a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 1/4 of a cup of vegetable oil. And that is it. And I did 3 cups of water, because you know, of course, anytime Instapot steaming, you don't want your greens to be so, you want them to be flavorful. You don't want to be floating in water or floating in juices. But yeah, so that is it. I'm going to get the mac and cheese in the oven and the yams, and we'll be eating. So this is the pot roast. It's so good. I just pulled it apart because it'll just be easier. And then, of course, you know, it was cooked to, it just pulled to pieces, which is so good because it's so tender. You won't be chewing long on this. And then we just stopped by the grocery store and grabbed some fried chicken. So nobody ain't gonna be hungry in here. I'm comfortable and I'm ready to get cozy and eat. Happy for the rest of the day. I hope you guys enjoy your Sunday afternoon. It's good. The mac and cheese is just caramelizing on top. I'll show you guys that. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next week. Word to the wise: don't walk off when your mac and cheese is on broil and then you've got to remove all the top. But everything was still amazing. It was still cheesy and delicious. Just had to remove that top because it got burned. Yeah, but that's life. It's okay. But you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.